Hello everyone, welcome to Full Stack Python Development course. Myself, I'm Nagesh Kumar. I'm a Full Stack Python developer with over 10 years of industry experience. I have a privilege of working across backend, frontend, cloud, and also a scalable system architectures, and I'm excited to share this knowledge with you. Today, we begin with a new journey altogether that will take you from fundamentals of Python all the way to building complete production-ready full-stack application using modern technologies like Fast API, React, TypeScript, PostgreSQL, DynamoDB, Docker, and many more. Okay, what are the things that we'll learn in today's session? In today's session, we'll see what is a full-stack development, the technical stacks involved in this full-stack development, and also a typical architecture diagram that can show you how a code look like whenever you are working on a full-stack development course. Now, what is this full stack development? What does the name of the course full stack web development mean? A full stack development is a buzzword that everyone talks about, but no one knows what it means, or at least there is no agreed definition for this term. Practically, all web applications have at least two layers: the browser being closer to the end user and is the top layer, and the server that is the bottom one. This often also a database layer below the server. We can therefore think of the architecture of a web application as a stack of layers. Now, when we also talk about the front end and back end, the browser is the front end and the JavaScript runs on the browser is the front end code. The server on the other is the back end. In the context of this course, a full stack web development means that we focus on all parts of the application: front end, the back end, the database, sometimes the software on the server, and its operating system are also seen as part of the stack. But we won't go into those. We will code the backend with JavaScript or using Node.js, or you can code with Python or any other runtime environment. Using the same programming language on multiple layers of the stack gives a full stack web development a whole new dimension. However, it's not a requirement of full stack web development to use the same programming language for all the layers of the stack. It is used to be more common for developers to specialize one layer of the stack, for example, just the backend layer. Technologies on the backend and the frontend are quite different. With the full stack trend, it has become common for developers to be proficient in all the layers of application and the database. Often, a full stack developer must also have enough configuration and administration skills to operate their applications in the cloud. For example, you should be aware of how to Dockerize your web application and then host it on your AWS or Kubernetes or any other cloud solutions. Now, sorry. What is the tech stack involved in this? So let us see the different tech stacks that is available for our full stack development. So as we told, we have like backend and we have front end. So what are the things that you can get in backend? So basically you can work on Python or you can Java, you can use any other frameworks to build a full stack web application. But in this course, we will concentrate more on Python. So the most modern and most popular uh, stacks that we can use is Fast API, which is like asynchronous, which is high performance, and also has built-in Open API, which will help you to test all the APIs. So we can use Django REST frameworks, and also we can use Flask. Other than that, we have like Tornado. Also, we have like Sanic, we have Pyramid. There are like different technologies that is available to build your backend. Coming to your front end, which is the client side, mostly JavaScript or TypeScript framework that will work with Python backends. Along with that, we can use like React, we can use Vue.js, we can use Angular, and we can use Next. We have Next also that is coming with Vue plus SRR. So all these are like available for a front end client side. Now, as I told you, it's not just front end and back end, it also more beyond that. What all those things we have? We have database. So it can be a relational database through SQL. So for whenever you are going through relational database, you can go for PostgreSQL, we can go for MySQL, we can go for MariaDB, or like you can go for simply SQLite, which will help you to develop your web application locally with the local database. If you are going for NoSQL, we have MongoDB, we have DynamoDB, we have Redis, we have Cassandra, we have CouchDB, and all other databases that is available. Next is ORM or database tools where we store actual models. Okay, we need whatever data that we have in the database, and to take the raw data into your Python application, you need an ORM. Okay, ORM stands for Object Relational Mapping. So we have SQL Alchemy, which is most popular ORM that we can use. Also, along with that SQL Alchemy, we have Django ORM, we have Tortoise ORM, we have Geno ORM. All these things are available, and also we have database migration tools also. So like Alembic, so which will help you to version your schemas. Okay, so that you can, in case if you make some changes or you want to, just like how you code your how you version your code through Git. You can version your database with Alembic. Next comes the API or communication layer, where your API, your application and program should interact, right? API stands for application and programming interface. Okay, so we have APIs tests like REST API we can use. We have GraphQL APIs, which is provided by Strawberry, like via GraphQL. Also, we have WebSockets. And in order to test this, we have documentation like OpenAPI or Swagger, which is built in with the Fast API. We can use them and test the Fast APIs that we are building. Also, along with the different layers, we have authentication and authorization. That is very, very important whenever you are working on a full stack development. So we can use like JWT tokens, we can use OAuth2, we can use session-based authentication. Also, we can use like Firebase authentication, also OAuth or Cognito. So there are like different ways of authenticating your web applications. Again, authentication and authorization is the most important concept that you'll be learning in the session. Along with that, we have caching mechanism. So whenever you're trying to produce some tasks or queues, submit some jobs, we have Celery and we have Redis, which will help you to caching mechanism and also queue the task which is submitted by the user. And also we have RabbitMQ, we have Kafka. So we have so many other technologies for caching and messaging queues. For storing and file handling, we have local file system. You can store all the files locally whenever you are developing a local application, or you can host it on AWS S3, or you can host it on Google Cloud Storage, or you can host it on Azure Blob Storage. Along with that, we have this Python tools like Boto3, Google Cloud Storage to access all this data from your Python backend. Next comes our DevOps and deployment environment. So for DevOps, we can use like Docker and Docker Compose, and we have CI/CD pipelines like GitHub Actions. We have GitHub GitLab CI/CD. We have Jenkins. We have Circle CI. So all other platforms for CI/CD developments. And then we have testing tools. So testing tools like we have Python, Unit Test, PyTest with Async IO, Selenium. So all these things can be used for testing your web application. Next comes a best combination. So whenever you are see that okay, there are like so many combinations, so many technologies that's available to build a full stack application. Now, what is the best combination that I can use? So whenever you want to go with Python, Fast API, React, and Postgres SQL, those are like the best combination. You can go with Django and React. You can use Flask and Vue. We have Fast API and Next, also Django with Angular. So all these are different combinations of technical stacks that you can use in order to build your web application, right? Next, let us see the architecture. What exactly? It's just like a simple code that we have displayed in this slide. So where we have the whole application will sit inside app. So in this we have for all the different layers we have different folder structures. So APIs, all the dependencies of the APIs and all the routers are stored in this API folder. All the core configurations and securities are available in this code structure. So we have DB where we can manage all your database. You can create a session, you can delete the sessions, and you can store all the data models that is available for your DB. So that is nothing but your ORMs. And you have schema for your matching of database and schema. We have services where something like getting the data from the database, or like authentication service or different services can be stored under service. And we have main file. This is the entry point for your application. So your application development will start from your main.py file, and then it goes through all the different folders and structures that we have created here. So this is all about today's session, guys. We have just given a small introduction about like what exactly a full stack development look like, and in further sessions we'll deep dive into each and every layer, and then we'll build our complete full stack web applications. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye bye.